So today I'm going to discuss the square number and cube numbers, yeah, square numbers and cube numbers. Now, last time we did something called prime factorization. So, for example, if we have a number, say 32, now do you still remember how to do prime factorization?
So divide 32 by 2.
Okay.
That makes 16. Divide 16 by 2. That makes 8.
Yes.
Divide 8 by 2. That makes 4.
Okay.
And divide 4 by 2. That makes 2.
Okay, now if you look at how we factorize 32 into some prime numbers, in this case, it's 2, yeah. Now how can we write down this 32 in terms of this multiplication?
32 equal to 2 to the power of 5.
Yes, that's correct. Now let's do one more time here. Now what about 625?
Go.
What about,
So it can't be.
wait, what about 625?
It can't be divided by. It can't be divided by 2.
Okay, it can't be divided by 2. How did you know?
There's an odd number at the end.
Okay, so this is odd number, yes. Now, if you can't divide by 2, so what is the next prime number after 2?
3.
3. Now, the question is, do you think we can divide 625 by 3?
No.
How do you know?
It's because 25 is not a multiple of 3.
No, actually, last time I explained, when you have a number here, like this, yeah, so this is 3 digits number, okay? Now, when you try to add all of the components in there, so for example, in here we have 625. Now, when you add 6 and then plus 2 and then plus 5, what's that?
That gives you 13.
13. Now, if you look at this number after you add all of them, this is not multiple of 3.
Yeah.
So that actually tells you when you can't divide this number by 3, therefore 625 cannot be divided by 3. Okay?
This is a prime number.
No. When you look at a number like 625, yes, 13 is prime number, of course, but the idea here is, now for example, if you have 624, can we divide this by 3?
Yes.
Now, how do you know?
I know because 6 plus 2 plus 4 is 12.
Yes, so when you add them, 6 plus 2 plus 4, which is 12. Now, if you look at this number, the total is a multiple of 3. So that shows us 624 can be divided by 3. Right? So when you want to know whether a number can be divided by 3, just simply add all of the components and then see if there's multiple of 3 or not. If you can divide by 3 after you add all of them, therefore this number, it can be divided by 3, okay? Now you can't divide 625 by 3. Therefore, you have to move to the next one, which is, what is the next prime number? 5. So now, can we divide 625 by 5?
Yes.
So, okay, now when you divide this by 5, what do we get?
You get
Well, you can try to get a calculation. Yeah. So what is 625 divided by 5?
$125.
125, very good. Now let's continue further. The question is, can we divide 125 with the same prime number here, which is 5?
Yeah.
So we still keep doing division by the same number if it's still possible, okay? So what is 125 divided by 5?
25.
25, okay, 25. Now, do you think we can still divide this number by 5?
Yes.
Okay, so what's that?
5.
5. So that's the end actually, because this is already prime number, right? That 5 here. This is all a prime number. Now, when you finish, basically what we have here, you see we have this times this times this times this, give 25 or 625. Or
So
in
5
other
to the
words,
power of 4 is 625 equals
yes.
5 to the power of 4.
So yeah, we will do some practices with this later. Yeah. Now, what I want to talk about is the square number. So the idea of square number is simple. For example, if you notice now, when you do 1 square, that gives you 1, right? Now, if you do 2 square, that gives you?
If you do 2 squared, it's basically 2 to the power of 2.
Yes, so that is
that'll give you 4.
That is 4. And then 3 square?
That will give you 9.
9. Now when you have 4 square?
Will give you 8. Wait, no, 16.
16. So you see these numbers, yeah, 1, 4, 9, 16, and the next one would be what?
5 to the power of 25.
25 and then 36. They are the examples of square numbers because you obtain this number by squaring this number 1, 2, 3, and so on.
Oh yeah, because if you think about it, if you have a square,
Yeah,
that's 4. What time? Actually, so and then times 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
That's a square.
That's very good idea. Look, you can think like that also. So if you imagine that this one is like a single square, yeah. So this number 1 is a single square. Now when you have 2 square, that give us bigger square, which includes 4 smaller square like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? That's why it's called square number. Now in this case, when you have 9, it's like you have this smaller square and then you arrange that into something like this. There we go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so this is 1 square. And then this is 4. This is 9. And you imagine when you have 16, what you have is you have a bigger square. Now each side of the square will have 4 smaller squares. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, so that's why it's called square numbers. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, and so on. The nice thing about square number is, of course, if you now take the square root, so this is something new for you, yeah? Square root of those square number, that will get you to the original value in this case. So when you, for example, if you look at this one, yeah, square root of 1, it is 1. Yes, square root of 1, it is 1. Square root of 4 gives you 2. Square root of 9 give you 3. Square root of 16 give you 4. Now what is square root 64?
Square root 64 is gives you 8.
8. What about square root 100?
10.
10. What about square root, for example, 121?
11.
Yes, 11. Okay, so basically the idea of square root is if you have a square number and then you take the square root of it, that give you this value, yeah. Okay. Now the last one that I want to discuss with you, it is called the cube numbers. So
is it basically numbers to the power of 6?
No, not the power of 6. Actually what happened here is, okay, let me show you, yeah. 1 cube, 1 to the power of 3. What does it mean?
1 to the power of 3 is 1.
1, yeah, that's because 1 times 1 times 1.
Yeah.
2 cube.
That gives you
8,
8.
yeah, so this is 2 times 2 times 2, yes?
Yeah.
3 cube.
That gives you 27.
Yeah. One more time. 4 cube.
That gives you 16 times. So if I've got 16, I have to times 16 by 4. So 64.
64. Okay, so now I'm showing you these numbers 1, 8, 27, 64. They are the example of cube numbers, right? So they are cube numbers. Okay, 1, 8, 27, 64, because you obtain this number by taking the power of 3 of a number.
The base can be any number.
Yeah.
But the power has to be 3 for a cube number.
So do you think 1000 is a cube number or not?
It is a cube number.
It is a cube number. Why is that?
10 times 10 times 10
Yes.
is 1000.
10 cube gives you 1000, yeah? Okay. Now here's the thing. So when you take now something called the cube root. Yeah, so this is also new. Cube root. The way we write down the cube root is like this. So it looks similar like the square root.
Like divide the number by 3, and if it's the
No,
same,
no, you are not dividing by 3 actually. So let me show you first how we write down the cube root. Yeah, when you write down the square root, that's how you write down, right? So sometimes in some textbook they can write down with this symbol, yeah, and then they put this number. But normally if you don't put anything like a number, we have agreement that this is a square root, taking a square root. So when you have cube root, what happens is you write down similar symbol like that, and then you just put a number 3 here. That's how we write down a cube root. So for example, what is cube root of 1? So basically when you take the cube root, you take the cube root of this number, that gives you this value, right? So in this case, when you take this cube root of 1, give you 1. Now, what is the cube root of 8?
The cube root of 8 is so 8. Wait, no.
Remember, these are the cube numbers. Okay, and that's because they are obtained from multiplication of this number. Yeah, so 8 in this case, 2 times 2 times 2. Now, when you take the cube root of 8, they give us 2.
Okay.
So this is not dividing 8 by 3. Yeah, this operation is not dividing 8 divided by 3. This is actually looking at this operation, the multiplication, because 8 is equal to 2 times 2 times 2. That's why when you take the cube root of 8, that gives you 2. Next, what is the cube root of 27?
3.
Okay. What is the cube root of 1000?
10.
Okay. One more time. What is the cube root of 1 million?
100.
100. Very good. Because when you multiply 100 times 100 times 100.
No, you guys, this is how I do. There's 2 zeros here, 2 zeros here, 2 zeros here.
Okay. So what do you think? Did you get the idea of cube root now? Okay, let me just do one more time. Yeah. What about the cube root of 125?
Cube root of 100. Cube root of 125. So the cube root of it.
Oh yeah, the cube root. So this is the cube root, sorry.
Okay. So for this one, I'm not really sure. So I'm gonna have to add like like 1 plus 2 plus 5.
No. Again, cube root is not dividing this by 3. Yeah, so you don't do that again here because we are not divided 125 by 3. Now what happens is, do you know a number that you take the power, the 3 power, yeah, power of 3 to that number, give you 125.
I'm not sure.
So what is a number when you take a power of 3, give you 125?
So you basically just have to like find the number.
That when you multiply with that number again, when one time multiply one more time, give you 125.
Um,
Okay, let's look at this example again. Yeah. See, 4 cube equals to 4 times 4 times 4. Yeah, which is 64. Now let's continue one more time.
5 to the power of 3.
Yes. So when you have 5 to the power of 3, it is 5 times 5 times 5, right? And there is 125.
Yeah.
So 125 is a cube number. Yes. Now my question here is, what is the cube root of 125? 5.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and see here, be careful when you are taking the cube root, you are not dividing this number, yeah, 125. You are not dividing that number divided by 3. Yeah, it's different operation now. Yeah. For example, you know now, so this is the last one, yeah. What is 6 cube?
6 cube.
Mm-hmm.
That is 6 times 6.
6 times 6 times 6. Yes, very good.
Yeah.
So now, what is the answer?
So if 30 times 6 times 6.
Yes.
That's 36.
And then
36 times 6, which is so first 36.
yeah, you can use paper if you want. You can get a paper to calculate 36 times 6.
So first 36 times 3, which is 108, and then you add 108 with 108.
Yes, that's very good.
Which gives you 216.
So 216, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, so 6 cube equals to 216. What is cube root now? What is cube root of 216?
6.
It's 6. Okay, one more. What is 8 to the power of 3?
8 to the power of 3 is 8 times 10 equals 64.
Yeah.
And so first I'm going to do 64 times 2. Then I'll make it easier.
Right, that's okay.
Which equals 128. So that's what. So I need to do that 4 more times. So I just double this, which makes 256, and then I add that with 256.
Very good.
Which gives you 512.
So 512, yes. Good. So 8 cube equals to 512, yeah? Now, what is the cube root of 512?
8.
It's 8. Okay, yeah. So this is the cube root. Okay, so I guess that's for today, yeah? And